Right, to start with, you will need to drag your folder with all your footage onto the desktop. If you're going to use it from the subject data, it's going to be very, very slow and it'll just take far too long. So once you've found the subject data folder, 1080 by 720, this is a resolution, drag it onto the desktop. Then you will open up Adobe Premiere Pro CS 5.5. And when you open up Premiere, you will be asked quite simply to start off with a new project. Now the location of the project, again, I'm going to put this on the desktop, so make sure you click on Browse and then select Desktop. We'll click Choose, and then we're going to give it a name. I'm going to call this Mr. K Test, and I'll click OK. The next step is very important. It's going to ask you what sequence you want. So what footage are you going to use and how do you want your video to be rendered. So we're going to select digital SLR because it was shot with a digital SLR, of course. And we're going 720 and we're going to click 720 24. Okay, if you click the top one or the bottom one, it's not really going to make a difference. We've shot this majority of the video in 720p at 24 frames per second, and then we'll click OK. Right, so when you open up Premiere, this is what you will see. You will see various windows, and you'll also see some folders, and you'll see this long window down at the bottom. Now essentially we start from the top left hand corner. This sequence is our video that we've just set up, the 24 frames per second at 720p. Now we have to import our video footage into this area. So we can do it just by double clicking anywhere in this space, clicking on the desktop, finding our 1080 footage. We will select the top file, hold down the Shift key and select the bottom and click Import. It'll take a few moments and then Premiere should import all of the footage into our window here. So this is where we access all the video clips and we can see them all here. They're all labeled, etc. Now you'll notice that the frame rate is 24 frames per second for the majority of the videos. There is a few videos which actually have a different frame rate. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and these are actually 59 frames per second. This goes back to what we discussed before about wanting to shoot in slow motion, and if we want to shoot in slow motion we would capture a frame rate of at least 60 frames per second or 59.94. Now if we just double click this file, it will pop up in the preview window. So this window here actually previews our video here. So if I click play, that's the video footage. Okay, so I can just scroll through here and have a look at the video. Now what I want to do is, because this is a faster frame rate, I need to slow it down. So what I will do is I'll click this file, I will right click and go to Modify, Interpret Footage, and I will select this area here, assume the frame rate is not 59 frames per second, but we're going to assume it's 24, and then I'll click OK. And what that will have done, if I click play or press the space bar, it's now slowed down that video footage and it's nice and smooth. Now this should only be applied to those pieces of video which are 60 frames per second. So I'll do that now. I'll select this, I'll hold down the Shift key and then I'll hold down the Command key, or if you're using a PC, the Control key, and I'll select all the video clips which are 59 frames per second. Right click, Modify, Interpret Footage, assume this frame rate is 24 and click OK. Now everything there now is 24 frames per second. There'll be the odd video which is 23.9. Don't worry about that, it's pretty much the same thing. So now we've got all our video footage ready. Once again, let's look at this window here. I can scroll through and I can see all of the video. Let's double click on something else.